Connection, japanisches Filmfestival, Frankfurt am Main.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to the 2021 Nippon Connection Film Festival in Frankfurt. I'm Paweł Vlajcic from the film program, and a special focus this year is on family matters in Japanese cinema. And as many of you probably know, it would be difficult to discuss family matters in contemporary Japanese cinema without mentioning Hirokazu KOREEDA. That's why I'm very happy to have with us an expert on Hirokazu KOREEDA, film journalist Claudia Bertolé. She has already written books on the director, also some books on other important figures of Japanese cinema, and she's a contributor to the Sonatine blog in Italy. Welcome, Claudia. Take it away.
Good afternoon. Thank you, Paweł, for your words, and thanks to Nippon Connection for inviting me this year for this lecture about Koreeda's and families in Koreeda's films. I have to say before starting this lecture that a memory came into my mind in recently, and is that it's exactly 20 years since I first met KOREEDA and his cinema. It was June 2001, and I was in a festival in Pesaro, here in Italy, and he was there presenting his film Distance, and that was, I mean, the moment I decided that I wanted to know everything about his cinema. So it's even more, I mean, a pleasure today, because it is something like a celebration. KOREEDA Hirokazu is a talented Japanese film director. He's now well known all over the world. His first feature film, Maboroshi no Ikari, made in 1995, won the top awards at the Venice Film Festival that year, and at the Vancouver International Film Festival. Then the following film, Father and Son, in 2013, won the jury prize at the Cannes Film Festival, and his Shoplifters in 2018 won the Golden Palm at the Cannes Film Festival. Maybe not everyone is aware that at the very beginning of his career, he started as a director of documentaries for a local network called TV Women Union. And this thematic vision at that time was focused, and still is, on memory, identity, and people confronting with the loss of a beloved. So his approach is a detached style. The camera normally remains detached from the characters, maintaining a distance from them, and realizing in this way a representation which is emotionally reserved. Many critics, not all, but many, agree that KOREEDA's style seemed to recall in some ways the one by the master of Japanese classic cinema, Ozu Yasujiro, because of this lack of camera movements, pillow shots, ellipses, and soji-kei. So this way, different characters move or stand still in the frame, so that it becomes clear that they have an affinity. I would say that his style recalls not only Ozu, but also the Naruse Mikyo's one, the directors whose characters' anguish is in some way much sharper than in Ozu. But besides, Koreeda's style seems to testify his personal cinematographic history, putting together, especially at the beginning, documentary and fiction. So we said that his favorite themes are identity, memory, and people trying to face the sense of loss. But there is another theme that we discovered once in his very early works, and this is the focus on families. So the aim of this lecture is to explore Koreeda's work, especially as a way of representing groups of people, so-called families, comparing his work with other film directors and drawing attention on one side on the internal dynamics and on the other side on how the external world, society interacts with the families. I said that Koreeda starts his focus on families from his very early works. His first documentary made in 1991, Lesson from a Calf. In it, he records a particular classroom project, filming the children of the Ina Elementary School in the Nagano Prefecture. In their raising a calf, they call Laura. And so we see them in this documentary working with the animal, cleaning, feeding it, caring for her, and feeling sad when the calf becomes pregnant, but a baby is a stillbirth. So in a way, the relationship among these young students and between the young students and Laura forms a kind of family. The director's attention is to the children, is directed to the children, to their feelings and the way they confront themselves with this new experience and the adult's world. In 1994, Koreeda made another documentary, August Without Him. That was about a man called Hirata Yutaka, the first Japanese man to publicly declare he contracted AIDS because of gay sex. Hirata has many friends who help him in many ways. And again, what we see in this documentary is a sort of de facto family. Next documentary gives even more suggestions of the topic. Without Memory, this is the title. Koreeda made it in 1996, and the film director had been shooting for 2 years the Sakina family, and the father, Sekine Hiroshi, after a medical surgery and a bad recovery due to a malpractice, was suffering from a disability which prevented him from accumulating new memories. So the man wakes up every day without remembering what happened the day before. His wife and children have to cope with this terrible disease, helping him in any possible way. And his family established a sort of collective memory. In this way, they support his identity. So the most important thing that comes out from this work is the role of this family as a collective memory. Then we jump to 2004. Koreeda made Nobody Knows, Daremo Shinarai, which is the first feature film that puts together the different aspects concerning the family topic. Private emotion on one side and social pressure on the other side. Before going on analyzing Koreeda's way of depicting families, I want to step back for a moment. Generally speaking, contemporary family, but not only the Japanese one, often comes up in cinema with a common model in a way. It's a close-knit group of people that day by day is overcome by conflicts and falls apart, creating something different, for example, an extended family. So Koreeda is not the only one among film directors who focus his work on family issues and family problems. Speaking in general, this is a topic brought to the artist's attention, even in Japan, in a country with a strict social control, where there is a phenomenon like the hikikomori phenomenon, normally young people confined in their rooms as social recluses. There are rental agencies where you can rent a mother, a sister, or a brother as you need. And this is a phenomenon that Werner Herzog describes in his Family Romance LLC, a film that was presented, if I remember well, out of competition at Cannes Film Festival in 2019. So many film directors focus their attention on the family topic. We can remember Morita Yoshimitsu in his Family Game in 1983. The same year, Suo Masayuki in Hentai Kazoku, Abnormal Family. Of course, Mike Takashi with Visitor Q in 2001. And of course, another well-known film director, Sono Shion, with in his Suicide Circle, and then also Strange Circus in Noriko's Dinner Table, and even in the recent Red Post on Asher Street, made in 2020. So we have many film directors interested in this topic. We have many films presented in this year program of Nippon Connection in the focus Family Matters, such as the one by Hirayama Hideyuki, Family of Strangers, so very recent films, the one His by Himaizumi Rikiya, and then The Stormy Family by Ichi Masahide. Family of Strangers in particular is about three persons coming from three dysfunctional families getting together with the idea of finding their place again in society. In another film, Nozari, Impermanent Eternity by Yamamoto Tatsuya, which is presented in Nippon Vision section, this film starts from an illegal purpose. A young man wants to steal money from an old lady pretending to be a grandson. Then again, as in Koreeda's film happen, feelings among humans change the rules, and in this case, the purposes, and create something different. So in this case, a surrogate family. I would like to compare specifically Koreeda's point of view concerning families with another film director I mentioned, who is Sono Shion. What we find in Sono's work is normally a dysfunctional family. Members don't communicate, and the family itself become a place of abuse, violence, and perversity. In Sono's film, the family could be a representation. It becomes a performance. So in my opinion, Sono, compared to Koreeda, has a more negative approach concerning the family subject. In any case, both film directors have at least two common points. The first one is that for both of them, family is strictly connected to memory. In memory, memories lay the foundation for the family and make the single member's identity stronger. As we said in the documentary, without memory, the family becomes a collective memory with the aim of supporting the father's identity. As far as Sono is concerned, in Noriko's dinner table, for example, one of the characters' fake memories, which are based on other people's objects she collects in a locker, these memories becomes part of an invented family memory. And in a similar way, in Still Walking by Koreeda, Aruitemo, Koreeda puts in a drawer all the pictures of this family, the Yokoyama family, and this is a real historical archive of the family unit. There is a sequence in Still Walking where the camera lingers for an extended time on the empty space left by the drawer to put in evidence its importance. So the identity of a person, which is strictly connected to the memory, with the memory, is all there in the heart of the family memories, being actually existing or simply invented. The other aspect both directors focus on is the fact that families have great difficulties in communication. In most of Sono's films, family members rarely make an effort to understand each other. I'm thinking of the Shamoto family, for example, in Cold Fish. In Koreeda, for example, in I Wish, Kiseki, a film he made in 2011, family members only communicate by telephone with a lot of misunderstanding. In Distance, the film I mentioned before, a lot of flashbacks tell us the story of wives and husbands never listening to each other. In After the Storm, another wonderful film by Koreeda, the main character Ryota, who is played by Abe Hiroshi, he tries in a clumsy way to put on a dialogue with his almost ex-wife, but the woman doesn't seem to react. In this film, the communication is failing, but there is a sequence that I think reveals, in a way, well, it's my opinion, reveals Koreeda's point of view towards families. The story of the film is, as in Still Walking, starting from a visit. So Ryota, the main character, and his son Shingo go and visit the grandmother, played by Kiki Kirin, in her house. And there they find Ryota's sister, and later will arrive Ryota's ex-wife. But the problem is that the hurricane arrives too, and they cannot do without spending the night there all together. So in the evening, Ryota, Shingo, and the wife in a garden, where there is this huge structure in shape of a pink octopus. It's a place for children. It's a place for children to play. They stay inside this animal and then decide to go out and go back to the house. So they go out, they run because it's raining and the wind is very strong. But I find this sequence very interesting because they're not a regular family anymore. But Koreeda represents something like a new birth. They're coming out from this maternal octopus, and they face the hurricane together. So maybe something new is born. In another film, The Third Murder, the legal thriller Koreeda made in 2017, again, we see some father-daughters relationships not working because of lack of communication. And even in the most recent one, Les Vérités, made in 2019, the leitmotif is again the non-communication between a mother and a daughter. I think that Sono has a more pessimistic view towards contemporary families than Koreeda has. We cannot help noticing that even with a definite point of view, Koreeda seems to be looking for those ties that bind human beings, making them wanting to give birth to a family. Maybe not in the sense of institutional or traditional model. So this observation leads me to what I think is the main peculiar aspect we have to consider talking about Koreeda's families. Families in Koreeda's films often are extended families with a different shape from the nuclear one. But the point is that the family unit stays together thanks to the emotional bonds among the members. Let's take Nobody Knows, for example. Nobody Knows is a film Koreeda made about the story of 4 siblings abandoned by their mother in an apartment. It's taken from a true story, and they try to support themselves and they try to survive without anyone caring for them. So Akira, the elder brother, becomes the householder out of necessity, but he's the one who cares for the others, doing his best to let them survive. He's the one who takes on the responsibility for the younger brothers as a father would do, even when the times get rough. And so what he's looking for, what he's struggling for, is to keep the brothers and his brothers and sisters together in this new family. In I Wish, the film we mentioned before, there is an original family that falls apart, but from the ashes of this original family, 2 new families are reborn. Koichi, one of the young brothers, their mother and grandparents on one side, and Ryunosuke, the other brother, their father and his band on the other side. So even in Hana, the only Jidaigeki film Koreeda made, the people from the village become a family for this samurai who doesn't feel like killing his rival, and then find a solution in the end to save him from the rule he's supposed to obey to. So I agree with the definition of Koreeda as, I'm quoting, a director who prefers questions more than answers, but he ponders his questions deeply. in father and son, for example, the question is, what is a family? Is it an institutional model based on blood ties, or is a structure based on feelings, on emotional bonds? In this particular film, the director depicts two families that discover at a certain point, and after 6 years, that their sons had been switched at the hospital where they were born by a vindicative nurse. So the film is about implications of 6 years of nurturing, loving a child, make him grow. So we have these two families, the Nobuyo and the Psyches. And the question is, should blood ties be prevailing or not? In the end, I think that Koreeda makes us think that maybe a new model would be possible. And this model would take every different need into consideration. I would like to show you a very nice sequence from this film, which is the last one. We are in front of the Psyche's shop, and the little Keita ran away, and the father went to take him. He brought him back, so they are all together, and all together they enter into the building. So this is really the last question, the last sequence, and Koreeda leaves in a way his characters and the viewers with the idea that maybe this entering all together, the two families all together in this building, would means that they will maybe try to find a solution. They will maybe try to find a new way of staying together. And the sequence, it's nice because we're there thinking about that while they're going inside, and then the camera leaves everyone and goes up, and this movement up discovers some sheets hanging out in the air, so that recalls Ozu, and then discovers the sun over the houses. So it's a very nice one, and I would like you to see it. So I ask Pavao if please you could share the screen and show it.
Entrate. Grazie. Grazie. Prego. Accomodatevi. Adesso andiamo a mangiare. Certo. Permesso? Prego, prego. Lo sapevi che Spider-Man in realtà è un ragno? No, è la prima volta che lo sento. Vuoi vedere la bambola che ho fatto io? È bellissima, la vuoi vedere?
Okay, thank you. In 2015, Koreeda made another film, Little Sister, Umimachi Diary, that again depicts an unusual family. 3 sisters and a new one, their father's daughter with another woman. And this is another example of an unconventional family. And then we cannot do without mentioning Shoplifters, the film made in 2018 that clearly focus on a family whose members decide to stay together, and their choice, joined with the feelings they share, is strong enough to form a family. Shoplifters is quite a particular film with that carries a lot of ambiguity. Actually, we see this strange group of people, this strange family. It's a mystery at the beginning. Actually, during the film, we realized that it was the grandmother who decided to accept the new family into her house because she was afraid of dying a day in loneliness. Anyway, what comes out from this film is that they choose to stay together, even though they have no blood ties, that they're not relatives. So what comes out from this example is a de facto family based on emotional tie. And this family seems to be able to go over the institutional one. So it seems like that the traditional idea of family structure is changing, it is growing in a way. There is a way that Koreeda uses to show the privileged ties that bind the different members of this particular group, shoplifters, that have no blood ties. I would like to show another sequence. It's a very warm one. There is a very warm atmosphere. It's taken from Shoplifters. There's Nobuyo, the mother, with the little girl Yuri in a bath. And the woman is not the little girl's biological mother, but in this sequence, Yuri noticed they both have the same burns on their arms. The woman works in a dry cleaning place, so she irons a lot, and this is the reason for the burns. Yuri, who is the little child they welcome in their group, was probably beaten by birth parents. So those signs testify a similarity, a tie, and also recall Ozu's Sojikei, as we said. So the way different characters take a position in the frame, so that we understand, it's clear that they have an affinity. Okay, so I would please ask Pavel to show this second sequence. Okay, thank you. There is another example also taken from Shoplifters, and it's just a frame, and in this frame, Osamu, the father, and Shota, the son, but they're not related to each other. They are sleeping in a bed, and they have the same position of the head and hands on the pillow. And this is another example of this, of what I said, these positions that make clear their affinity. Could you please show it? Okay, it's this one. So it's pretty dark, but it's here we can see that they are in the same position. Thank you. As I said, Shoplifters is a film that carries a lot of ambiguity. At first glance, it seems that crime and money keeps these people together. But there is more. Talking about the parental role in Shoplifters, Koreeda said that the family isn't quite a real family until they've broken up. Once they're apart, they become more of a family. The point, I think, it's their humanity. So they're feeling like a family. Koreeda was criticized because of this film in Japan. First of all, because he refused to celebrate his Cannes award with the Japanese authorities, and then because of the subject, and was called anti-Japan. He was firm in pointing out that his film, his film is a form of art, and the film is not there to show a Japan for tourists or to blame a specific part. So it's a portrayal of a group of people as the director see them. In this film, I think that Koreeda is really observing human beings, and in this case, what we see is a bond, is a group of people choosing to be a family. Another aspect that we have to consider is that from the very beginning of his career, Koreeda normally starts his stories from something his characters, something or someone his characters don't have or don't have anymore. So it could be a mother, could be a father, a beloved they lost. So his protagonists have to confront themselves with the memory of something or someone they don't have anymore. So we can say that the conceptual category that best summarize the director's cinematic poetics is absence. At the beginning, this is much more focused on mourning experience. Maboroshi, for example, in Maboroshi, Yumiko has to face her husband's mysterious death. In Still Walking, the family reunion starts the day of the younger brother's death anniversary. Erdol, too, Cooking in Gyo, is focused on loneliness and how much human beings look for someone to love and to live with. In Nobody Knows, again, the mother runs away after abandoning her 4 children. So they live by themselves, as we said, for a long time without anyone knowing about them. So in the most recent films, absence is connected to the idea of a society that doesn't recognize new ways of being together. So family should be the institutional one to be seen and accepted in the social environment. Otherwise, the social pressure becomes, or better say, is represented by an extreme apathy. We must say that in Nobody Knows, what Nobody Knows doesn't mean exactly nobody cares, because the 4 children in the film get some food and help from helpful persons. But the point is that the most of the people around them don't seem to take notice of their situation. In Shoplifters too, this group of persons with difficulties, shoplifters, they are a particular family, but the world around them doesn't seem to take any notice of them. In Shoplifters, the director, as I said, is an ambiguous film. The director keeps his eyes especially on the children of this particular family. He puts in evidence not only how deep are the feelings they share, but also the ambiguity of the situation. So he focuses attention both on lights and shadows of these relationships. The family is something a person cannot choose, but as Nobuyo, the mother, played by Ando Sakura, says, if you choose it, the emotional bond is stronger. So what keeps together the members of this family is the will. They choose to stay together, and this act, as in Father and Son and Little Sister, changes the rule in a way, making a new family unit, in this case not connected with blood ties, possible. What is in fact completely absent is the presence of the society around them that doesn't care about their situation. In my opinion, in this film, in a stronger way than in Nobody Knows, Koreeda leaves the spectator to ponder this deep sense of emptiness caused by a society which is totally absent. Shoplifters, concerning social criticism, recalls in a way the early documentaries' intensity, such as A Weather. So in this time of this great absence, the society is represented by cold welfare officers, as in A Weather, for example, or those who meet the 2 families in Father and Son, or again, those who question the members of the strange unit in Shoplifters. Talking about this last film in particular, the director makes it clear the contrast between the woman who asks questions to Nobuyo in the end with a cool, very cool expression, and Nobuyo herself in clear trouble while answering. She keeps on putting her hands on her face or through her hair in anxiety. I would like to go on giving some suggestions, some more suggestions concerning families. And the first one is about members of a family having a meal together. The family that eats together stays together, but it's not always like that. In Koreeda's films, it is very common that in a family, people spend time chatting about anything while preparing the meal or while having dinner, for example. So on one side, we should notice that the meal or a particular food is connected with memory and is a way to keep the family together. So in Little Sister, for example, the taste of the plum liquor is a way for the three sisters to remember their grandmother. In Shoplifters, again, having dinner, sharing a particular food with the little abandoned girl will establish a family atmosphere, strengthening the emotional bond with her. Sometimes lunch or dinner is the time to let secrets or heavy family topics come to the surface. I'm thinking of Arutemo, while they're having dinner, Ryota's mother decides to put on a record of a 60s pop song called Blue Light Yokohama. And the viewer can only presume that the song was a romantic one for Ryota's parents, but some scenes later it becomes clear that the woman's intent was different, was completely different, because the song was in fact the one she had heard her husband sings while he was in her lover's house. So with that song, she intended to mark her sufferings for her husband's infidelity. In I Wish, there is an interesting sequence about a dinner. This is in fact one of the two brothers, Ryonosuke. It's Ryonosuke's dream. He's dreaming about a dinner with all the original, his original family, so with mother and father and his brother. But a violent quarreling is starting between father and mother, and Koreeda has this interesting movement because he makes the child Ryonosuke come in front of the camera to put in evidence that his point of view. So the attention is for the children's point of view. Okay, so I would like to show this sequence. Pavel, could you please? Okay, thank you. I think the sound was not on, but it doesn't matter because I just wanted to you to see that this particular movement of the child, and this sequence leads to the other point I mentioned, And it's in particular the way the film director makes us enter in the children's world. Speaking in general, children characters are well known in Japanese cinema, even in the classic one, in Shonen Mono, for example, or in Shomingeki too, Foxtone families, but with many young characters. Koreeda, as we said, is interested in depicting children from the very beginning of his career. But what sets the director apart from others is its intention to give the children authentic point of view upon the world around, not a reconstruction by the adult way of approaching things. So he has this special sensitivity in showing the world of childhood as an independent one, avoiding to look at it from the adult side. We have so many examples of wise children in Koreeda's films, starting from Nobody Knows, again, with Akira and his brothers and sisters, and even before from Lesson from a Calf. Then Atsushi in Still Walking, he's looking in a pure way on this complicated tango of the adult conflicts. So is Keita in Father and Son. And in Shoplifters, Koreeda definitely gives his two young protagonists the conclusion of the story. One is Shota, who is finally able to call Osamu dad. And dad was like a forbidden word for all the films, but in the end, the little boy whispers it. The other one is the little Yuri. So again, she's again in birth parents' house, her eyes looking over the fence, over the frame in a way, looking for that freedom and for the love she found in this Indian unusual family she met, which is the love she deserves. Talking about figures in Koreeda's films, I would like to also remember three mothers, both struggling in the wrong way, some of them in a difficult social environment. The first one is, of course, Keiko from Nobody Knows, played by Yu. She's nearly a wild figure who reminds me of another bad mother in a recent film by Omori Tatsuchi, Mother. And then, of course, I want to remember Nobuyo in Shoplifters, played by Ando Sakura. She's not a mother to anyone, but she has these strong feelings for her family. The last one I'd like to remember is Sae, played by Yamaguchi Tomoko. It's a character I like very much. She's the mother in the drama Koreeda made in 2012, Going My Home. She's fond of her job. She prepares food for cooking magazines, and she works as cooking expert during film shooting. She's fond of her family too, so she has to find a balance between job and family. Her characters gives us another suggestion of Koreeda's idea about families, and in particular, the woman's role inside the family. I remember that in a quite recent interview in 2018, Koreeda said that in Japan, if there is on one side a general coming back to a more conservative approach in families. On the other side, women seem to have a more active role. But this is really a big topic. Then in Koreeda's families, there is, from Still Walking On, a figure that it's like a fil rouge in his films, and it's the grandmother. The grandmother, always played by the wonderful Kiki Kearing. She's not only in Still Walking, but also in I Wish, Father and Son, Little Sister, After the Storm, and the most melancholic performance in Shoplifters. She is, I would say, sometimes she is an enlightened incarnation of tradition. For example, in After the Storm, she's an autobiographical reflex for Koreeda, because in Still Walking and After the Storm, it's a reflection of Koreeda's childhood memories of his mother. In I Wish, she's an example of a more liberated old woman. In Still Walking, she played this old lady with a strong personality, as we said, towards her husband, but not only, also towards the boy, his son, the one she lost, saved from the sea. So she invites this boy every anniversary, but it is clear that she has not forgiven him for being the reason of his son's death. In Father and Son, she's the one who says, who educates you, it's what really matters, it's what really counts. So putting herself on the side of the emotional bonds against blood ties. Recently, I wrote a book about the actress Ara Setsuko, and her being, in some ways, Ozu's muse. So during a presentation of this little book, I was asked to indicate, if possible, an actress that would represent in a sort of Koreeda's muse. And I couldn't think of one in particular, but I would say that there is this iconic figure going through Koreeda's families in his films. And this figure is played by the actress Kiki Kearing. At this point, I would like to nearly close my lecture, showing a frame taken from the film we've mentioned a lot of times, so nobody knows. This one. We said that Koreeda is analyzing the underlying problems and implications inside the family world. I would say that he seems to believe in the family unit, even in its various changes. I'd like to add that in his last few films, The Third Murder, Shoplifters, and La Vérité, Koreeda focused his attention on internal dynamics of modern families, but especially concerning relative truth. So the relationship between what is real and what is not real. Anyway, someone said that his films could be read as an updated version of the classic genre. Ozu was in fact studying family conflict in the post-war period in films like Brothers and Sisters of the Toda Family or in Tokimonogatari. That social context was changing because of new social values, because of an urban development. But I agree with those that say that unlike Ozu, Koreeda is a film director who likes to explore new territories in his films. So in KOREEDA's Families, the lack of references is relating to the contemporary moment, and his critic point of view is related to nowadays society, of course. Nobody knows. For example, he points out the inadequacy of the social system that is supposed to support families in difficulties. Shoplifters shows people living in poor conditions, developing a supporting community, even though the society around them is not able or simply doesn't want to accept their existence or be aware of their needs. But what comes out from his work is that the family, even after separation or death, is able to be born again, even not in the traditional shape. And that we can call family a group of people that decide to stay together, supporting each other, because what really matters is the bond, is the emotional bond among its members, even if those members are not related by blood ties. And I would add, if the society doesn't seem prepared yet to accept new models to coexist with the traditional ones, maybe things will change in the future. Thank you.
Thank you, Claudia, for this really interesting lecture. There was like some aspects that I really didn't think about before, also with regards to Shono. So it was a really excellent lecture. Thank you. We have some questions from the audience. Could I read them to you? Hello.
Yes, please. Yes.
Okay, sure. We had a small technical hitch-up. Yes, we have a question from Linda Ehrlich. Thank you for your many insights today and in your book. Do you see this model of collective memory and something like a new birth in films like Shoplifters as well? Maybe you answered part of that question, but maybe you could just shortly summarize.
Yes, well, thank you to, well, I'm excited because I really like Linda Ehrlich's book on KOREEDA and what she writes on this about this film director. So I'm very pleased that she's asking me a question. And yes, I would like to, I would confirm what I said. So these new models, well, it's something that we can see in KOREEDA's films from the beginning. So from his early works as a documentarist, but it's something that it goes on through his works during the years. So I would confirm that his point of view is in the direction of a new way of thinking the family. As I said, Shoplifters in particular is a film that carries a lot of ambiguity. So it had many layers, and it's very interesting how he put all together the reflections. But yes, I would say that this is a topic that seems to be that he seems to be interested in, and so I guess that maybe he will continue exploring new territories, but then analyzing old territories too.
Great. A second question. Dear Claudia, I attended your lecture on Hirokazu KOREEDA at Nippon Connection 2014. Happy to see you again. If you compare Father and Son to Shoplifters, would you say that his cinematic style has changed, evolved significantly If so, what are the most striking changes in your opinion? Thank you and best regards, Chris.
Okay, Chris. Thank you, Chris, for the question. I would say that something changed, but not so much, because I read an interview, in an interview that Koreeda said about Shoplifters, that he wanted to represent a dirty world. So in Shoplifters, we see a lot of things and people in the same frame. What I noticed is that he has this sensitivity with children, and this is something that it's in Father and Son and in Shoplifters too. So maybe he's a little more involved in the topic, in the question, in the problems of the people in Shoplifters, and this maybe has reflections on the style.
Okay, and then we have another question from Catherine Monroe Hotas, and it's a big one, I think. You mentioned your book about Setsuko Hara as Ozu's muse. Ozu is famous for his depictions of families. I was curious as to how you see Koreeda's depiction of families in comparison, in contrast to Ozu. Well, it's material for a book, probably.
Yes. Yes, well, as I said, Ozus was analyzing the post-war families, and with that social context. So it was, things were changing because of different social values, as I said, and this pressing urban changements. So he focused on relationships inside families, and I would compare on this aspect is the same in Koreeda, but I think that Koreeda has a more experimental way of doing things, of analyzing topics, because he moves from different themes. So he started with memory and facing the loss of beloved. Then he focused his attention on families. Now he's going on, and he's analyzing in his films, in not only in Shoplifters, in Third Murder before, and in Le Vérité too, this relative truth. So the relationship between what is real and what appears and what it's not, what is real. So he's going on in, and this is maybe the difference with Ozu.
Great. We don't have much more time left, Claudia, but I will take the time to thank you for the really great lecture. Please, everyone, seek out the Sonatine blog. Oh, let me just see if we have like one with last questions. Oh, no, that's fine. So please, to all our viewers, just an invite, visit the blog Sonatine, Blogspot 2010, Sonatine 2010 blogspot.com. It's where you will find a lot of great reviews on Japanese cinema, also on some films running in the Nippon Connection competition. And please seek out Claudia everywhere she is and buy her books. Currently there are books on Setsuko Hara, on Hirokazu KOREEDA, and we hope to see some translations soon, Claudia.
Okay, thank you. I really want to thank you, Paval, for the assistance today, and thanks to Nippon Connection, and thanks to everyone that had the time to listen to me today. Thank you a lot.
Thank you.
It was a pleasure.
See you soon. Bye bye, Claudia.
See you. Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.